live your life the way that you want to leave your life. Ladies and gentlemen, as I speak to you right now, if you had 90 days to live, how many of you will make some radical changes in your life? And most people raise their hands. And then you take a poll, and what the majority of them will say, I will quit my job. Why? Because that's not them.
Yeah.
They're not doing something that's them. You spend 40 to 60 hours a week doing something that's not you.
Yeah.
That's stressful. But if you're doing something that's you, that's your passion. And so when you realize that we have a choice to accept life as it is,
Yep.
or be an active force for good, to decide, I don't want to just survive. This is not me.
Yep.
What it takes to survive and what it takes to live, those are two totally different things.
Yeah.
And you got to be willing to work for that. A lot of people are afraid of that four-letter word. Willingness, W, the willingness to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. O, ownership of your life, taking full responsibility for where you are. George Bernard Shaw said that people that make it in his life, they look around for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, they create them. The R stands for willingness to reinvent yourself. To that in order for a man to gain his life, he must lose his life. So you've got to be willing to die to who you are now, to give birth to who you are to become. And the K stands for kindred spirits. You've got to come out from among people who don't have goals, who don't have dreams. People rub off on you. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. Academy Award winner Sidney Poitier said, when you go for a walk with someone, something happens without being spoken. Either you adjust to their pace or they adjust to your pace. Whose pace have you adjusted to?
Wow.
And so if people are willing to do the work, whosoever will, let him come. A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still.
Boom.
A lot of them aren't as talented as you are. A lot of them aren't as talented. And when we're thinking about,
I'm not going to say they're not talented.
okay,
They didn't just exercise the gift.
exercise that gift.
We're
I love it.
always blessed with talents. Every last one of you have a talent, but it's on you to develop and exercise and go get it. It's on you. That's not on mama, that's not on daddy, that's not on the friend, that's not on the homie, that's on you to go get it. So all of you got something inside of you that is just screaming to get out. And it's about time that you bring it out.
That's it, that's it. So Coach, there's a lot of human specimens out there that are athletes. I'm thinking about MJ, I'm thinking about Bo Jackson. We interviewed him last year at the
Awesome.
AT&T Stadium. Usain Bolt, human specimen, physical specimen. LeBron James, specimen. You're a specimen. So when we're looking at talent, when does talent stop until work ethic takes over to get to the next level of domination?
Well, I like work ethic and I like talent, but I also love character. Character is going to keep you where you want to go longer than you really need to stay. Work ethic is unbelievable. Talent is as well. But sooner or later, it's something that's inside of you just has to want it. You have to need it. You got to go at it like it's that next breath that you got to take, that nobody can stop you. And the closer you get to it, you're going to have naysayers, you're going to have doubters, you're going to have people that's close to you, that even in the crib with your laying beside of you that don't believe in you. I know I stepped on somebody's toes right there, but it's okay. That's what I came here to do. But it's up to you to wipe the tears out your eyes and go get it. Because my motto when I was 7 years old is I believe. I got to Jackson State and I started saying I believe, and they thought it was something new. I've been believing for a long time and I'm not going to ever stop. Now it's about time for you to look to that person next to you and say, I believe. I believe. I mean, you got to feel it. You got to embed it. You got to embody it. Don't just say it with your neck all slanted. You got to put your neck upright and say, I believe. I mean, I believe. That's right. Without a shadow of a doubt, you got to believe. You got to want it. Because everything you want is going to be something in front of it that's going to keep you away from it. So you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to roll your sleeves up. You're going to have to put Vaseline on your face, ladies. Take your earrings off. You know, take your lace front off, baby. You're going to have to go get it. You're going to have to go get it.
One of my favorite books is Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. And he said he was in the Nazi German concentration camps. He said the Jews that survived the inexpressible cruelties of Nazism had some power greater than themselves that they believed in, or some movement that they bought into, or some family member that they were determined to see again. And what it boiled down to, he said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. If you got a reason that drives you. My reason was I had made a commitment. I was going to buy my mother a home. And nothing was going to turn me around. I was going to make that happen. That was not some wish. My brothers and sisters, they didn't share it. They thought I was crazy. But that became my reason for being. I faced a lot of rejections. And I just saw it as a part of the process, that you have to roll with the punches. Because I was in this place where Paul Robeson, who said, "Here I stand, for I can do no other." And I was determined that I was going to find a way through speaking to earn enough money that I'd be available to my mother to take care of her, who was suffering from breast cancer. I promised her when I was a kid, I said, "You'll never go into a nursing home." She used to work in nursing homes, and she always said she never wanted to go into a nursing home. I said, "I promise you, that will not be your destiny." And when my sister called me and said, "Leslie, are you sitting down?" I asked, "What's wrong with Mama?" I just got reelected to the Ohio legislature, and they had appointed me to the chairmanship of the Education Committee and the Human Resource Committee. And she said, "Mama has breast cancer." I said, "I'll be there tomorrow." She said, "But you just got elected." I said, "Listen to me. I enjoy politics, but I love Mama." And I promised her I'll be there. And she said, "Leslie, they have a lot of good nursing homes in Dade County." I said, "Please, don't touch her. I'll be there tomorrow." I caught a plane the next morning, and I'll never forget ringing the doorbell. And a friend of hers, named Miss Mildred, was there. And she came to the door and she said, "Oh my God, Mamie, Leslie's here." And I could hear my mother say, "I knew he would come. I knew he would come." Mildred, unpack those boxes. He's here. I knew he would come. You have to have something that drives you when others give up and surrender and throw in the towel. Something that can cause you to reach a place within yourself where you say, "I don't feel nowhere as tired. I'm going to get it done." That makes you unstoppable. I was there. I took care of her until she left here. Brought her home. Got to find something that pulls you into the future. There's a stand that you decide to take with your life.
If there's one thing you can tell anybody on what to do with their money, what would it be?
What to do with your money and what would it be? You got to bet on you. It's so funny that you believe in others, you would bet on others, you would support others, you would be there for others, you would even lie at times for others. But when it comes to you, you take a darn back seat. I don't understand it. I'm not a gambler. I don't play with money of that nature. When I go to casinos, I don't even frequent down there. They don't even give me free rooms because they know I ain't spending no money, okay? But every now and then, I go put about $100 on 21 black. That's just an analogy. He got it, you didn't. That just meaning, that was my numbers, ladies, in football. That just means I'm gonna bet on me. I said, but I really came from Fort Myers then. I said, I'm gonna bet on me. I'm gonna believe in me because I know what I got inside me. I'm gonna bet on me regardless of what you think. I'm gonna be there for me regardless if you there or not. I see me, I know what I'm capable of, I know my shortcomings, I know what I would do under pressure, I know what I won't do under pressure. I've introduced myself to me probably over 2 decades ago, and I know me. And I'd be darned if I'm not gonna bet on me. I don't know you like that. I don't know you under pressure. I love you. I love what you accomplished. I adore you. I love the way you dress. I love that gown you got on, baby. I love those pants and those jeans. I love the way you flowed your outfit. But I don't know you. But I do know me. And I be darned. I know I got some improvement to do. I'm not perfect, but baby, I'm present. That's what I tell my kids. I'm not a perfect father, but I'm present. When you look around, I'm going to be there. But I'm going to bet on me every darn time. And I promise you, I'm going to stick to it no matter what, and I'm going to win. So my advice to you is bet on yourself.
If we look at the difference between what I do and what ministers do, ministers preach the gospel about Jesus. I preach the gospel that Jesus preached. They sell the messenger, I sell his message.
Boom.
When they demanded of the Jewish carpenter when the kingdom of God shall come, he said, he didn't talk about brick and mortar, some building, the kingdom of God cometh not by observation. They shall say is neither lo there, lo here, behold, the kingdom of God is within you. You can't have a kingdom without a king. Kings rule. You must master the king in you. Most of us have been programmed to fail. Most of us are being manipulated by the media, by computers. Studies indicate that most people look at their phone over 400 times a day. They've given up control, the real estate of their mind, the kingdom within, to commercial advertising. They've been programmed to be fans, to be spectators, as opposed to being co-creators in how they're going to live their lives. You know, Abraham Lincoln said, the future belonged to those who created. We were born to create. And so this time where we are, this place where we are, people should not be focused on the television set and what's going on in the Ukraine, and my heart goes out to them and my prayers and my support for them. But they should be focused on what kind of person must I become that will help me to learn how to turn adversity to my advantage. Because life is going to always be challenging. Think it not strange that you're faced the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might, you will have tribulations. It's a part of the process. And so our goal is to master your kingdom. That we have to go within, as we say, that you don't live life as it is, you live life as you are. And so if we train our children how to live their lives from the inside out as opposed to the outside in, we can reduce the dropout rate, the suicide rate, the unexplained violent behavior, people fighting over toilet paper.
Yeah.
in a grocery store or fighting over a parking spot, that's somebody that's not in their right mind. And so people are breaking down to a very large extent. But the people that will make it through this place where we are, there's an African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. And Shakespeare said, the fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. If people take the time, a minimum of 2 to 3 times a day, to get still, to get quiet, to go within. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth thee, and listen to the whispering of your soul. What am I supposed to do next? As opposed to listening to the world. Yeah. What you tune into, you turn into. So in this space, we have to focus on how to begin to elevate ourselves above the culture, above all the stuff that we see, and focus on whole a vision of what we want to manifest. My favorite book says, I'll give you all your eyes can see. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. You might run over here, but you'll limp back. Don't mess with me.
When you're looking at your career, I'm sure in addition to your victories and success, your championships, you also had tough and difficult losses.
Yes.
What is the loss that comes out to you right now? It's probably one of your toughest losses in your career, whether baseball or football.
My money in divorce court twice.
Okay.
That's probably my
Football and baseball, divorce.
It's probably my toughest loss. It was a tough fault case, but I lost some. Man, God gave it back to me in the end. But no, straight up. Honestly, that was my toughest loss. Just going through the nonsense of life, understanding that someone you lay with, you produce children with, is going to come out to be a darn war about something you worked your butt off for, and that's traumatic. But guess what? Sooner or later, you got to wipe your tears, put on a new suit, take a good shower, and get back out there and go get it. Okay? It's a lot of you right now. You need to thank God that he left. You need to thank God that she played you. You need to thank God that they did you that way. You need to thank God that they walked away. You need to thank God that you got strong enough where you finally said, no, you ain't doing me like that no more. And you need to thank God that it happened, because if it hadn't happened, you wouldn't be as strong. You wouldn't be as tough. You wouldn't be as resilient. You wouldn't be as provocative as you are now. So some things we got to thank God for, because God is trying to move that out the way so he can usher you in blessing you to a whole new beginning. And that's why I am. I'm 54 years old, looking like 35, 37, somewhere like that, and it's like a whole new chapter. I've been prime time, then I cut the time off, then I was just prime, and now I'm coach prime. It's a whole new chapter, and guess what? I'm still winning.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Still winning. God, I'm still winning.
By the way, in the audience right now, raise your hand if you've ever been through a divorce or family court.
Two.
Right?
Two.
There it is. There it is. Bye. It's tough. It's tough because you think so. You're almost like it hurts you as a man, as a provider. It hurts you emotionally, financially. I mean,
it's a death, but they still walking around. That's really what it is. It's like losing somebody, but they still walking around. You can see it. Dang, I see you died real good. Yeah, I see that. Forgot about that.
We have to continue to educate people on the reality that you can make a difference. Politics is a part of it, but it's not the absolute. That we have to be actively engaged in being current in terms of our knowledge and skills, because whoever's in the White House, it doesn't matter if you don't have the skill set and the mindset to turn adversity to your advantage, or to find a way to get your piece of the pie. That's the name of the game. Yeah. That there's a big pie out here and everybody wants a piece of it, but everybody's not going to get a piece of it, because the road to life is straight and narrow. And few there be that find it, because few there be that are willing to do the inner work. Few there be that are willing to upgrade their skills and their knowledge. Few there be that will face rejections and no's day in and day out and decide it's not over until I win. That most people, they allow themselves to be broken. They will surrender. But you have got to have the kind of mindset, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. You're not going to stop me. I have a goal, I have a dream, and my stopping or giving up because of the failures, because of the rejections, that's a non-negotiable no. I'm coming at you from another angle, and I'm not going to stop till I get through. We all have that in us. We don't know how strong we are until we have to be strong.
Yeah.
And so we're not taught in school resiliency. We're not taught how to handle rejection. That's why so many kids are committing suicide, being bullied, because they have a limited, weak sense of self. Dr. Martin Seligman, who wrote the book called Psycho-Cybernetics, who discovered self-image, that we need to have a curriculum that builds a person's sense of identity. Once your life has a sense of identity, that gives your life a sense of purpose. And once your life has a sense of purpose, that gives your life a sense of direction. And so Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. When you know why you're here and what you're supposed to do with your life because of that time that you've taken to ask yourself some questions of why am I here? What's the meaning of my life? Mark Twain said, the two most important days in your life, the day that you're born and the day that you realize why you're born. Most of us don't take the time to get quiet and get still. Most people die at age 25 and don't get buried until they're 65. Most people don't put their minds around the reality that life is God's gift to us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God.
We pulled up this YouTube video, your top 50 plays. We won't go through the whole thing, but let's take a look at some of your top plays. All right, here we go.
Can we stop it? I want to stop it. I don't want you to clap because I'm going to say something that you're not going to believe. Those aren't my top plays. Let me tell you why. Because see, my top plays happened at practice when no one was looking. My top plays happened in Fort Myers, Florida, when none of you knew anything about me. My top plays happened when there was no camera there. See, those are the plays you just caught on camera. Those weren't my top plays because I practiced like I played, so when I played, it would be practice. Yeah, you were supposed to clap right there because that was straight.
Amen to that. Yeah. Come on, get up to practice plays.
So there's somebody out there right now, the light ain't on you, but keep making plays. Nobody's talking about you, but keep making plays.
That's right.
I know your sales numbers aren't where your friend is, but keep making plays. I know nobody's talking about you, and you're not on the leaderboard right now, but baby, keep making plays.
Coach, were you, with all that, were you ever a selfish player?
I don't know what selfish is when you're playing a team sport.
But even on a team sport, it was about my stats, my thing.
No, it wasn't about me, but the better I did, the better we were. So you could see it as selfishness, you could see it as braggadocious, you could see it as individualism, but the better you are, the better it's going to be for your company, the better it's going to be for your team, the better it's going to be for your family, the better it's going to be for your kids, the better it's going to be for your siblings. So you got to do your thing. I love team, but in the middle of Dion, there's an I. In the middle of the win, there's an I. In the middle of prime, there's an I. So I knew I had to do my job to make it easy for everybody else.
Because you're the living embodiment. I mean, you're literally a living legend who's destroyed a lot of reasons why you shouldn't succeed, why you shouldn't get ahead. You know, there's people out there right now like, what am I supposed to do? They feel helpless. They feel isolated. They feel
But they
powerless.
don't feel that in a vacuum. See, we were born to succeed. You're made in the likeness and image of God. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yes, right.
We were born to succeed. We've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. But we've been programmed to fail. And so I say, particularly when I'm in church, even though we are made in the likeness and image of God and been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth, we will never exercise authority and dominion over our lives until we exercise authority and dominion over what we are not. That we have bought into an image that has been sold to us. Dr. Carter G. Woodson said it best. He said, if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. So our goal and objective in helping people to begin to plug into this economy is to deal with the pandemic that we presently have, but also the virus of mediocrity, HIV, hood-infected virus, AIDS, addiction to incarceration, and death syndrome.
Hey Andrew, so how do I get like a six pack quick? What's the fastest way to get a six pack?
Why does it have to be quick? Why does it have to be easy? Why do you think life is all quick and easy? Why can't it be hard and difficult? Why can't you suffer? Because suffering is what gives it value. If everyone had a six pack and it was quick and easy, then it wouldn't be valuable, would it? If everyone walked around with a six pack and they got it easily, then no one would give it shit. The whole point is that it's difficult to get. Value is linked to difficulty. If you want something that is valuable, you need something which is difficult to obtain. You shouldn't be thinking about quick and easy. You should be thinking about hard, suffering, pain, going through it. That's what you should be thinking about. This is going to be hard, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because when it is done, then everyone's going to know that I went through something difficult.
Nobody, absolutely nobody, gives a fuck about you as much as you're going to have to do about yourself. Nobody cares about you as much as they need to care to fix your life. But nobody is going to come to your bed, drag you out of bed, drag you to a job, force you to work hard. You are never going to have any of the things you want if you do not get them yourself. The only person who's going to make me happy and live a life that I want to live is me. Nobody's going to do it for me.
People say, Tate, what motivates you? And I find that I think that's a stupid question. I was a 4-time kickboxing world champion. For 12 years, I trained 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I was motivated to train probably about 25% of the time. The rest of the time I went because I am disciplined. If I wake up and I'm unhappy, I will do the exact same things as if I am happy. I will go to the gym the same. I will work the same. How I feel has no impact on how I live my life. We're grown-ups and we have responsibilities and we have problems and we have pressure, and you don't necessarily have to be happy to perform, and happiness will come at the end of the performance anyway. But if your number one goal as a man, if your number one mission in life is just to be happy, that's going to be an extremely vaporous existence, and you're not going to be a man of substance. Your ability to deal with stress, the amount of stress you can deal with as an individual, is directly correlated to your success level. If you can deal with stress all day, you're going to be successful. If you collapse under stress, you're not going to be successful. There's no way to the top without stress involved. But there is a massive correlation between success in life and stress tolerance. The more stress you can tolerate, the better your life's going to be. One of the only things in this world you can control is your state of mind. You can't control the weather. You can't control other people. You can't even control your health. One of the very few things in the world you have genuine control over is your state of mind. If you can't control that, then you're just a feather in the wind, and life's going to blow you around. I can't imagine truly wanting to quit something and not being able to quit. I can't imagine it. When I talk to people who say, I want to quit smoking, I say, when? They go, oh, well, soon. Well, that means you don't want to quit. You want to keep smoking for a while and quit later. I can't imagine a mind frame or a mindset where I want to do something and can't do it. It's almost difficult for me to answer that question, because if you have that kind of mind, if your mind is so fundamentally broken that you cannot do with your own mind what you want to do, then you're just, right? Life is hierarchical. There's always going to be kings and there's always going to be peasants. If you have a mind that you can't control, then you're never going to be a king. You're going to be a peasant. That's your life. You have a peasant's life ahead of you, and that's your destiny. Enjoy, right? There's always been peasants. That's life. But I believe that the most important thing you can do as a man is to gain control of your mind. Once you have control of your mind, life is so ridiculously easy. People say to me, Tate, you're in good shape. All you do is drink vodka and travel the world. You're never even home. You never even have a gym. How do you do it? It's ridiculously easy if you control your mind. If I decide to do 1,000 push-ups, I'll do them. Maybe I have to do them one at a time. Maybe I'll get tired. Maybe I need a break. I'm going to do 1,000 because I said I'm going to do 1,000. Everyone knows what they're supposed to do. You either control your mind or you don't. And all of these things stem from the same problem. It's something you can do. It's something that is learned. It's something that is taught.
Depression is the ultimate motivation. If you're unhappy with your life and you're depressed, I don't expect you to be popping pills and sitting laying in bed. I expect you to give me a huge list of everything you're achieving per day. Depression's a fantastic motivation, but people are told the opposite. No, a lot of people's problems are all in their mind. And I'm not saying that mental conditions aren't real, because absolutely some are. But I try and explain to people, look, the only thing on the planet you have genuine control over is your state of mind. You can't control the weather. You can't control anything. The only thing you can affect in genuine real time is how you feel in your head. How you view the world absolutely and utterly shapes how you react in the world, how you act in the world, how people view you. It's all down to how you view things. You have to believe you're a fucking man, and you have to believe you can achieve anything. I'm not saying you can achieve anything easily. I'm not saying it's not going to take a whole bunch of work. I'm not saying it's going to happen quickly. But you have to believe you can achieve anything.
When I tell people that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, everyone agrees. They go, yeah, that's probably true. And then they continue to hang around with people who they don't want to be. Why? There has to be a point where you sit and go, okay, you're my friends, etc., etc. I love you guys. Yeah, we can talk, whatever. But I'm on a different life path. You have to leave some people behind. If you were to come hang around with me and my crew, you would be self-conscious. And that self-consciousness would motivate you, or they would certainly instill the discipline required for you to change. You don't feel self-conscious amongst your peers. That's why you don't change.
When I was broke, I couldn't sleep. And I say that, people laugh. I'm not joking. When I wanted money, like fucking I needed air. People say to me, I want to be rich. And I say, okay, well, I want to be able to ice skate. But I don't want to be able to ice skate enough to go learn how to ice skate, because I can't be bothered. I mean, surely if I could click my fingers and be a figure skater, I'd click my fingers. Who wouldn't? But I don't want to actually go train. Because I don't want it enough. And this is the exact point with money. Everyone wants money put on their lap. If you truly wanted money, you wouldn't be able to sleep until you fucking had it. And this is the point. Because when I had nothing, I couldn't be distracted. You couldn't distract me from what I wanted.
Life when you're young is a completely different experience to life when you're older. When you're older, your life quality seriously decreases, massively. So you have about 10 to 15, maybe 20 years to find a way to get rich and enjoy being rich. You got to put it all together, you got to do it quick.
You have to start saying, I want to take money. Because that's how you have to think. You don't make it, you take it. So you have to start talking that way. You got to take money. Is that money isn't real. Money is like water. Money never stays still. If you can find and identify a place where money is moving, if you can find a place where money is moving and stand in the way, then the money is vulnerable.
The problem is with the people out here, everyone has a dream, but not many people have a plan. A good plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. You got to do something. You got to do something fast.
Yeah.
You're just sitting around talking about it and hoping for things to get better. I don't think living in a dream is going to help you in any way. I think you need to be sitting here panicking at the fact that you don't have enough money. You need to be concerned and worried and sad. You need to do something about it today. Because that's how I started my first business that made me $1 million. I sat in my room, pissed off, and I fucking came up with the idea. Most people see people with things they want and they don't do the second half. They don't try and work out how they got that thing. Oh, my man has a Ferrari. Okay. I wish I had a Ferrari. Okay. They don't sit there and go for an hour, how did he get a Ferrari?
It doesn't cross that part is the part they don't want to do, right? They just go, oh, here's a Ferrari, wish I had a Ferrari, and they go back to TV.
Yeah.
And that's why they lose.
You need to understand that in this world, there's a whole bunch of people doing amazing shit that you are not doing. And that needs to piss you off. Because it pisses you off, you become motivated all of a sudden. You need to be annoyed, and I'm telling you to be angry. Anger is a fantastic force. You take that anger and you direct it in the correct direction.
And listen, you may feel fired up for 10 minutes after this little talk, but you're not going to feel fired up forever. You need to put systems in place. You need to get discipline. You need to get an atmosphere of people around you who are going to keep you accountable and not make it easy for you to continue to be a fucking nobody. And then you're going to fix your life. Otherwise, you're going to stay a nobody.
If you were genuinely pissed off about your situation, you would not need me to motivate you. You would motivate your fucking self, and you would do something to change it yourself.
Motivation isn't real. Everyone says this. Motivation is not real. Discipline is real. I do not feel like training, but I still train because I'm a disciplined individual. You don't get to go through life only doing the things you feel like doing.
What you can't do is devalue yourself or your attention in any way. What happens now in the modern world is that men's attention no longer has value. In the 1950s and 60s, if a girl got the attention of a good-looking guy, it meant something. Because how many times can she get the attention of a good-looking guy? She walks down the street, whatever. In the world of Instagram and Facebook and social media, a girl's getting blown up. So what does your attention have? Your attention has no value. So the way you give it value is one, becoming a higher value man, but another way you have to make sure your attention has value is you don't throw it away because it suffers from inflation like anything else. And this is how you end up with guys who are buying presents, taking girls on holiday, doing everything for them, but their attention is so low value that it means less than one text from me after 3 months. Being smart, being witty, all these things help. But this is the reality of life as a man, is that you have to build your value. People say to me all the time, oh yeah, Tate, you get girls. I said, I got girls because I became a kickboxing world champion. That's thousands of hours in the gym. I wasn't born with some magic. I wasn't born with some tool. It's like, I had to do it myself. So you have to build it as a man. This is just the unfortunate reality. If you're not prepared to do any work at all, you're gonna suffer. So you can't hack having a personality. You can't trick a girl into thinking you're something you're not. If you want a woman to really respect you, then be a man worthy of respect. It's really that simple. And on top of that, one of the easiest ways to be a man worthy of respect is to refuse to take disrespect.
You can be nice to women. I'm not saying don't be nice. The idea of being nice in and of itself has no value because nice is something which is intangible. Nice is something that can be fabricated, right? You or I can go out there and be nice. We can be nice to people we don't like. Anybody can be nice. So if there's no scarcity attached, how can I have a value? Something like status is very hard to fake, right? Something like that Lambo is very hard to fake. All these things are very hard to fake, but nice can be faked. But the point is, when a guy comes along trying to be nice, I think women instinctively kind of look at you and go, look, you just met me. You don't know me. And you're being extremely nice to me. And that, to a degree, I think warns them. That's deceptive on some level. I think that's the reason they're semi-repulsed by it. Like, you knew me an hour ago and you're being all nice to me. Like, what do you want? Well, we know what we want. And she knows what we want. Yeah. So the whole thing just looks fake. It doesn't look genuine. And integrity and being a genuine person is not just something that women respect in men. It's something that people respect in other people. So it's good when a woman meets you to know that you're a genuine individual. I'm a nice guy. There's a huge advantage in life to being likable. That is a skill that most people should cultivate, being likable. In the real world, the people who dislike me are people I've decided it's okay for them to dislike. Or pure violent haters, which every man gets, right? But if I'm in a conversation with somebody and I want them to like me, I have a 100% success rate. I know how to make people like me. I know how to be a likable person.
The only resource you have is your attention. And the reason it's so difficult is because now women get so much attention for no reason. Then why does your attention have value? So you have to put value on your attention. So then how do you put value on your attention?
What did we talk earlier about how trauma can mold you, how trauma can be a fantastic thing? Heartbreak, depression, sadness, these are all fantastic motivators. I'm telling you why they're a fantastic motivator. You go to a guy that's heartbroken, he has all the motivation in the world to send 300 text messages. He has the motivation, he's putting it in the wrong place.
That's 300 cold emails you could be sending to someone to pitch a business.
That's a lot of money you could have made.
Yeah.
Life's going to hurt you, and how you use that pain is completely and utterly up to you. You can use that pain to galvanize yourself as a man and become a better man you've ever been. I'm not saying that I'm only successful because of some chick. I'm saying that every single time that I was heartbroken, I never wasted a second. I was never wallowing. That's what I'm saying. True, trauma's going to come, pain's going to come, and you have to use it in a constructive way. I'm not telling you to tell him to avoid the pain. I'm saying that when it comes,
make sure it's used in a constructive way. And still to this day, that's all I would ever do. If something bad happened to me and I got really upset, I would find the most constructive possible outlet. And that's a conscious decision. You have to have the emotional control to make a conscious decision in that direction.
But I think another side of it is you just need to be uncompromising, and you need to be uncompromising in a very positive way. So I always say to people, I've never been in the friend zone in my life. And the reason I've never been in the friend zone in my life is because I'm very clear about my intentions. I think you're beautiful. Oh, well, we're friends. Well, no, we're not. So are you coming on a date with me or not? No? Okay, goodbye. And I think that a lot of the biggest mistakes guys make is they don't believe they can be affirmative as a man without coming across as an asshole or coming across as a jerk or coming across creepy. You can just be affirmative in who you are and be confident with who you are and be clear about your intentions, and you'll be fine.
So don't be trying too hard. Now, the reason I get away with such little work is because I put such a high price tag on myself. I am a 4-time kickboxing world champion multimillionaire. So even any female, no matter how beautiful, knows I'm never going to be the guy hitting her up constantly. I'm not going to be the guy she can call and I'll always answer. I'm not going to be the dude who will give her lifts to work. She knows I got shit going on. So remember what I was saying earlier to you about how I've never struggled with females because I never focused on the females. These other game books and Roosh and all these idiots. Worry about yourself. Get yourself straight. And when your own shit's straight, you got yourself together, females are an added bonus. If you go up to 1,000 girls, you get 5 phone numbers and one might fuck you. Yeah, I'm sure that's absolutely true, but so? You're gonna spend your life, instead of becoming rich, instead of becoming strong, instead of becoming smart, you're just gonna fucking run around a mall, approaching girls, day game? It's garbage, it's for children. All that shit is for children. I focused on myself, and that's how I've managed to attain the highest quality females. And also not attain, retain. And sometimes that's difficult, 'cause let me tell you something. She might be talking to a real G. If she's talking to me, you're gonna struggle to make her like you more. That's the truth. I have more tangible assets, more physical, financial, and mental assets. Plus I know the game. Sometimes you're outclassed. That's how it goes. Sometimes you're just outclassed. That's how it goes. It's another thing you can't really control. But what you can control in those situations is that you don't make her lose respect for you. Keep your honor about you. If you're gonna lose the game, there's 2 ways to lose it. With honor and without honor. So you have to have a system in place that's going to allow you to escalate and elevate your conversations and elevate and escalate your relationship and her interest level in you. If you're going to sit there and just message girls, you might be on lockdown for the next 6 weeks. And every day, how are you? Fine. You? What are you doing? At home? You? Home? So you got to have a little bit more strategy than that. You know what I mean? But then you have to understand, you're always in competition with other dudes. If a girl's messaging you, she's messaging 20. So why does she like you and not the rest? I mean, it's not easy as a man nowadays. It's really not easy as a man. It's getting harder and harder. I'm not saying that you can't get hot girls. I'm just saying that the hot girls are certainly aware of their worth. And Instagram gives them unlimited dating pool. Like, one of my girls has 69,000 followers on Instagram. Her Instagram account's on my phone, so I can see at any time. And she gets a message every 6 minutes, maybe. And she's had messages from verified NFL stars, Chicago Bulls, all this. So like, if you're a hot girl, like if you ever feel lonely, you click your Instagram inbox, you scroll through, and you decide who you want to reply to. You know, like these girls are never lonely, and they're never not talking to someone. And this is the element that most men forget, and this is something I try and drive home in the PhD course. The reason it's so hard for a man is you're not trying to make her like you. You're trying to make her like you more than she likes the guy she was talking to before you. So you're always in competition all the time. And the competition as a man is near unlimited. And that's something you have to keep in mind. And you have to be on the ball and you have to be ruthless with it. You've got to have your game in check. And you can get to a point where if you're really smooth with it, it gets easy.
The reason I care about being strong is so I can not only protect myself, but protect people I care about. The reason I want to be rich is not only so I can buy myself stuff, so I can provide for my family. Like every single position of strength comes with a derivative of softness underneath it. There's some emotion involved in it. If I was really a person who had no soft side whatsoever and I didn't give a fuck, I don't think I'd be the way I am. I think I'd be complete opposite. I think there are people like that who are so inherently selfish, but those people are not successful people. Those are people who sit on the couch all day, watch TV, smoke weed, and do nothing.
Let me tell you guys a true story. I was 21 years of age. This is not long ago. 21 years of age. Yesterday was my birthday. And me and Andrew, what do we eat on my birthday? KFC. Why did we eat KFC? Because when I was 21, me and Andrew used to have no food. I used to drive my broken Volkswagen Golf to the KFC restaurant in Dunstable, United Kingdom, and I used to sit in my car. And you couldn't ever eat anyone's leftover food if they ever had their mouth on it. But at KFC, they used to buy buckets. And I would sit and wait for people to sit outside, eat their meal, and leave the bucket on the table. And I used to go and take that bucket, 3 or 4 pieces of chicken. And I used to collect 20, 30, 40 pieces of chicken that were perfectly fine left in the buckets. And I used to go home and I used to freeze that chicken. And me and Andrew would break it up, put it in our rice, and that was our meal. That's what sustained us for that hard year, that year we had when I was 21 and you were 22. That's how broke we were. I used to scavenge chicken from KFC because I thought, fuck it, I'm not dying and I'm not losing my kickboxing fights because I don't have enough protein. What am I going to do to make it through the day? That's how broke I was. And that's a sad story if you never make it out. To me, that's a happy story. That's a story of triumph. Now it's like, hey, Andrew, it's my birthday. What we doing? KFC? And it's a big joke. We sit there eating our KFC, laughing about how we used to scavenge KFC chicken.
Yeah. If you're a man who's never had hard times, you're not a very good man. Any man who's had an easy life is going to fall and collapse in the face of adversity. And the whole point of being a man, the whole point of masculinity is the ability to resist. I'll tell you the coolest thing about being rich, because I'm a little bit rich now. A little bit. The coolest thing about being rich is remember when I was broke. That's all it is. Having money in and of itself really isn't that interesting.
No, it's not.
You buy the house, you buy the car, you buy the watches, you buy some clothes, blah, blah. It's boring. It's only cool to sit there with my brother in fucking Nurse Rat restaurant with Salt Bae being an idiot, spending 15 G's and saying, do you remember when we didn't have a penny?
Right.
15 grand for dinner. We never had 15 grand in our savings account in our lives.
Damn.
Do you remember that time we were living off those 10p packs of noodles for 2 weeks? You need this juxtaposition. There is no light without dark. You will not appreciate your 6-pack unless you didn't have one and you had to earn it. That's how the world works.
Why I think I fight. Do I enjoy it? No. Do I enjoy training? No. Do I enjoy cutting weight? No. Am I nervous? Yes. Do I think to myself, what am I doing? Yes. Completely. Unfortunately, it's one of those things you're either born with or you're not. And the only way I can explain it to try and make it make any sense is that if I'm not doing something which is either extremely difficult or extremely stressful, I'm in a perpetual state of crippling boredom. I can't explain it. I see other people live their lives and they're like, oh, I can't wait for the weekend because I want to watch this movie. I think who cares about a movie? You're looking forward to the weekend for a movie? Looking forward to the weekend to get drunk? Like, these things to me are so mundane. They mean nothing. And if I don't fight, if I'm not in a situation where I'm stressed or worried or concerned, I'm just perpetually bored. And boredom's crippling. If you're an intelligent person and you've got a good brain on your shoulders, you can't just sit there bored, you know? So most smart people take the academic route to avoid boredom. And they learn, but that's never really interested me either. Although I've always been an intelligent guy and I've always done well academically, it never really interested me. And then I see people climb Mount Everest or jump off buildings or do base jumping, or the guy who jumped from space. People think, what's he doing? He's crazy. I understand. Because some people can't live normal lives. Some people cannot just function 9 to 5 office job, get drunk at the weekends. That is not for some individuals, and it's not for me. So I have to find something which keeps me physically tired enough to stop me going AWOL, and mentally tired enough. And I've chosen fighting, because without this, when I'm not in training, I wake up every day and think, okay, what am I going to do today? It's 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, I'm bored, everyone's at work, I'm bored, and I'll end up doing something crazy. I'll either end up drunk, or on the Eurostar, or, you know, it's just a random lifestyle, because I'm constantly looking for never-ending entertainment, and it doesn't exist. I think the only thing that could stop me fighting is if I had enough money to constantly entertain myself. Unless I'm a billionaire, I need something that keeps me focused and keeps me occupied in life. With fighting, I have to train twice a day, and I have to train hard, and the stress it brings in every aspect can replace fun, and my mind is occupied. It occupies me. It's the only way I can try and explain it. It occupies me, and I could never stop doing this even if I lost 100 fights, because I'm not built to live a normal existence. I can't do it. I couldn't just have a kid with some girl and sit at home and work a little bit and relax. I've never relaxed in my entire life. I don't know what relaxing is. It's just not me.
I think that money buys freedom and freedom buys happiness. I think that the rich people of the world, the number one most intelligent thing they did was convince poor people that money isn't happiness. And I think they did that to prevent revolts. I'm not saying money is the only thing that can make someone happy. I'm not saying money alone will make you happy, but money is certainly a factor to happiness. So the rich people always say, money doesn't buy happiness, but do they ever give their money away?
Yeah. So you give your money away?
I have a charity, which I own, which takes care of street dogs in Romania. So I rescue dogs.
That's really lovely.
Have you ever been in love?
Absolutely. I completely believe in love. I'm a massive advocate for love. I'm a massive advocate for men and women being in love with each other. I'm not one of them evil predators or one of them playboys who thinks women are just for sex. Not at all. If you're sick in bed, the first thing you do is call a woman, right? You don't call your boys when you're sick in bed, or you call a woman, right? Like there's a very sacred interaction between men and women. I love the idea of family. I love the idea of children. I love the idea of being in love with a woman. I love the idea of her loving me.
I absolutely and utterly believe that men and women are made to be together. I absolutely and utterly believe that men and women should be in love with each other. I believe a woman should love her man and a man should love her woman. I have women who I'm completely head over heels in love with. I ain't gonna take shit. I'm still saying I won't leave you if you disrespect me, but it doesn't mean I don't love her. I don't know this idea. People think that you can't love a girl. No, that's bullshit. Complete garbage. I mean, that's low-level shit. I love having a woman who loves me. If I'm sick, she actually cares. Like this idea that you're just gonna spin plates forever and just endlessly have pointless sex then die, I think that's awfully sad. You should want love and you should want the idea of children. You should want all of those things.
I mean this with all due respect, absolutely no patronization, right? But I am, compared to all of you, a relatively old man, and I'm a well-lived man. I've been to lots of places, I've done lots of things. You know what the most beautiful thing in the world is? It's love. And I mean this in a non-corny way. When a man truly loves a woman and a woman truly loves a man, and they're together ride or die no matter what, that is truly beautiful. And let me tell you something. A man can do things that men do and still be completely obsessed and head over heels in love with his woman.
What you can't do is devalue yourself or your attention in any way. What happens now in the modern world is that men's attention no longer has value. In the 1950s and 60s, if a girl got the attention of a good-looking guy, it meant something. Because how many times can she get the attention of a good-looking guy? She walks down the street, whatever. In the world of Instagram and Facebook and social media, a girl's getting blown up. So what does your attention have? Your attention has no value. So the way you give it value is one, becoming a higher value man, but another way you have to make sure your attention has value is you don't throw it away, because it suffers from inflation like anything else. And this is how you end up with guys who are buying presents, taking girls on holiday, doing everything for them, but their attention is so low value that it means less than one text from me after 3 months. Being smart, being witty, all these things help. But this is the reality of life as a man, is that you have to build your value. People say to me all the time, oh yeah, Tate, you get girls. I said, I got girls because I became a kickboxing world champion. That's thousands of hours in the gym. I wasn't born with some magic. I wasn't born with some tool. It's like, I had to do it myself. So you have to build it as a man. This is just the unfortunate reality. If you're not prepared to do any work at all, you're gonna suffer. So you can't hack having a personality. You can't trick a girl into thinking you're something you're not. If you want a woman to really respect you, then be a man worthy of respect. It's really that simple. And on top of that, one of the easiest ways to be a man worthy of respect is to refuse to take disrespect.
You can be nice to women. I'm not saying don't be nice. The idea of being nice in and of itself has no value, because nice is something which is intangible. Nice is something that can be fabricated, right? You or I can go out there and be nice. We can be nice to people we don't like. Anybody can be nice. So if there's no scarcity attached, how can I have a value? Something like status is very hard to fake, right? Something like that Lambo is very hard to fake. All these things are very hard to fake, but nice can be faked. But the point is, when a guy comes along trying to be nice, I think women instinctively kind of look at you and go, look, you just met me, you don't know me, and you're being extremely nice to me. And that, to a degree, I think warns them. That's deceptive on some level. I think that's the reason they're semi-repulsed by it. If you knew me an hour ago and you're being all nice to me, and what do you want? Well, we know what we want, and she knows what we want. Yeah. So the whole thing just looks fake. It doesn't look genuine. And integrity and being a genuine person is not just something that women respect in men, it's something that people respect in other people. So it's good when a woman meets you to know that you're a genuine individual. I'm a nice guy. There's a huge advantage in life to being likable. That is a skill that most people should cultivate, being likable. In the real world, the people who dislike me are people I've decided it's okay for them to dislike me. Or pure violent haters, which every man gets, right? But if I'm in a conversation with somebody and I want them to like me, I have a 100% success rate. I know how to make people like me. I know how to be a likable person. The only resource you have is your attention. And the reason it's so difficult is because now women get so much attention for no reason. Then why does your attention have value? So you have to put value on your attention. So then how do you put a value on your attention?
What did we talk earlier about how trauma can mold you, how trauma can be a fantastic thing? Heartbreak, depression, sadness, these are all fantastic motivators. I'm telling you why they're a fantastic motivator. You go to a guy that's heartbroken, he has all the motivation in the world to send 300 text messages. He has the motivation, he's putting it in the wrong place.
That's 300 cold emails you could be sending to someone to pitch a business.
That's a lot of money you could have made.
Yeah.
Life's gonna hurt you, and how you use that pain is completely and utterly up to you. You can use that pain to galvanize yourself as a man and become a better man you've ever been. I'm not saying that I'm only successful because of some chick. I'm saying that every single time that I was heartbroken, I never wasted a second. I was never wallowing. That's what I'm saying. True, trauma's gonna come, pain's gonna come, and you have to use it in a constructive way. I'm not telling you to tell him to avoid the pain. I'm saying that when it comes, make sure it's used in a constructive way. And still to this day, that's all I would ever do. If something bad happened to me and I got really upset, I would find the most constructive possible outlet. And that's a conscious decision. You have to have the emotional control to make a conscious decision in that direction.
But I think another side of it is you just need to be uncompromising, and you need to be uncompromising in a very positive way. So I always say to people, I've never been in the friend zone in my life. And the reason I've never been in the friend zone in my life is because I'm very clear about my intentions. I think you're beautiful. Oh, well, we're friends. Well, no, we're not. So are you coming on a date with me or not? No? Okay, goodbye. And I think that a lot of the biggest mistakes guys make is they don't believe they can be affirmative as a man without coming across as an asshole or coming across as a jerk or coming across creepy. You can just be affirmative in who you are and be confident with who you are and be clear about your intentions, and you'll be fine.
So don't be trying too hard. Now, the reason I get away with such little work is because I put such a high price tag on myself. I am a 4-time kickboxing world champion multimillionaire. So even any female, no matter how beautiful, knows I'm never going to be the guy hitting her up constantly. I'm not going to be the guy she can call and I'll always answer. I'm not going to be the dude who will give her lifts to work. She knows I got shit going on. Remember what I was saying earlier to you about how I've never struggled with females because I never focused on the females. These other game books and Roosh and all these idiots. Worry about yourself. Get yourself straight. And when your own shit's straight, you got yourself together, females are an added bonus. If you go up to 1,000 girls, you get 5 phone numbers and 1 might fuck you. Yeah, I'm sure that's absolutely true, but so? You're gonna spend your life, instead of becoming rich, instead of becoming strong, instead of becoming smart, you're just gonna fucking run around a mall, approaching girls, day game? It's garbage, it's for children. All that shit is for children. I focused on myself, and that's how I've managed to attain the highest quality females. And also not attain, retain. And sometimes that's difficult. Let me tell you something. She might be talking to a real G. If she's talking to me, you're gonna struggle to make her like you more. It's the truth. I have more tangible assets, more physical, financial, and mental assets. Plus I know the game. Sometimes you're outclassed. That's how it goes. Sometimes you're just outclassed. That's how it goes. It's another thing you can't really control. But what you can control in those situations is that you don't make her lose respect for you. Keep your honor about you. If you're gonna lose the game, there's 2 ways to lose it. With honor and without honor. So you have to have a system in place that's going to allow you to escalate and elevate your conversations and elevate and escalate your relationship and her interest level in you. If you're going to sit there and just message girls, you might be on lockdown for the next 6 weeks. And every day, how are you? Fine. You? What are you doing? At home? You? Home? So you got to have a little bit more strategy than that. You know what I mean? But then you have to understand, you're always in competition with other dudes. If a girl's messaging you, she's messaging 20. So why does she like you and not the rest? I mean, it's not easy as a man nowadays. It's really not easy as a man. It's getting harder and harder. I'm not saying that you can't get hot girls. I'm just saying that the hot girls are certainly aware of their worth. And Instagram gives them unlimited dating pool. Like, one of my girls has 69,000 followers on Instagram. Her Instagram account's on my phone, so I can see at any time. And she gets a message every 6 minutes, maybe. And she's had messages from verified NFL stars, Chicago Bulls, all this. So like, if you're a hot girl, like if you ever feel lonely, you click your Instagram inbox, you scroll through, and you decide who you want to reply to. You know, like these girls are never lonely, and they're never not talking to someone. And this
Yeah.
is the element that most men forget, and this is something I try and drive home in the PhD course. The reason it's so hard for a man is you're not trying to make her like you. You're trying to make her like you more than she likes the guy she was talking to before you.
Yeah.
So you're always in competition all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And the competition as a man is near unlimited. And that's something you have to keep in mind. And you have to be on the ball and you have to be ruthless with it. You've got to have your game in check. And you can get to a point where if you're really smooth with it, it gets easy.
There's no joy without pain. There's no sunshine without rain. You need up and down. This is how the world works.
As a man, you must build yourself. And I agree that society puts huge pressure on men, and it's time for men to perform. As a man, you either perform or you don't. There's no safety net. The men who say, I can't feel like it, cannot compete with the men who do not say that. And it is player versus player. The man who goes to the gym every single day, regardless of how he feels, will always beat the man who goes to the gym when he feels like going to the gym. And it's player versus player.
A good man controls himself. I have absolute self-control. Emotional control is absolutely and utterly important as a man. You need to understand as a man, there are certain principles under which you act regardless of how you feel.
Bam.
I can wake up in a terrible mood. I can wake up sad. I can ache. I can have a busy day, stressed, etc. I will complete the same tasks as if I woke up in a fantastic mood. I'll do the same things because how I feel has no bearing on the things I'm going to do in my day because I have duty to myself. There is no light without dark. You will not appreciate your six-pack unless you didn't have one and you had to earn it. That's how the world works. So when I talk to these dudes like, oh, but it's, you know what, Tate, yeah, I agree, but you know, it's hard. It's hard. Of course it is. It's supposed to be. And if you're not cut out for it, then fuck off and live a normal existence and die. Sit there, letting other men enjoy the spoils of being a man and fucking die. If that's what you want to do, is just sit there and exist and then fade into history unremembered. That's your decision. If you want to level up your character, then you need to get out here and do it. You need to be around brave men. You need to get some balls. You need to get your network together. You need to be paying attention, listen to the truth, humble yourself, stop sitting there with an ego. That's the game. But I made myself this way. I wasn't born this way. I absolutely and utterly made myself this way. And any single one of you men out here can do the same thing. I was always looking for, I wouldn't say happiness or contentment, but I was always looking to try and break out of the 9 to 5, just the normal monotony of day-to-day life. I think that men have a very unique life path, and it's very difficult to try and achieve status as a man. It's not easy to stand out from the crowd. And even what women expect of an important man, you need to be smart, charismatic, intelligent, strong, have a nice car, nice apartment, good network, good friends. You need to be able to handle stress. You need to be competent. There's so many things you need to be able to do. It's difficult for a young man to even have all these things. You need to start leveling up your mentality, your spirituality. You need to level up your ability, physicality. There's so many different ways you can level up, like a video game character, right? Once you have all the unlimited money, you can then start ticking all the stats boxes.
Knowledge.
No. When guys say to me, okay, well, how do I make women respect me? Well, I say, well, how do you respect yourself? That's the first thing. No one's gonna respect you if you don't respect yourself. Do other men respect you? Like, what? How do you act in a way that commands respect from anybody? I say, look, if you focus on yourself and make yourself be who you are, being a high value male, women will detect it and it won't be so difficult for you.
You have to respect yourself first. And how does a woman respect a man? When she sees that he respects himself and other men respect him. You need to understand that the world you live in as a man, in my personal view, has been very purposefully constructed. It's been constructed in a way to destroy your masculine power. And the future of the world, especially in the West, is a further encroachment on your sovereign ability, your sovereign thoughts, your base instincts, the things that make you happy. Absolutely nobody is concerned with male happiness on any level. They don't want you to be happy. They want you to be miserable. A miserable slave in a tax bracket. And you have to understand this. And the only way you can combat against it is to take significant action. You have to take significant action. You have to use the internet. It's the tool they're using. The internet is the tool they're using to brainwash the masses. You need to combat it and use their own tool against them to seek out the kind of information, knowledge, and friends that you need to have around you. You are going to be the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So that, if everyone understands that, as an intelligent person, you're going to be extremely careful and you're going to curate heavily the 5 people you hang around with. So you need to be aware of what's happening around you, and you need to curate for yourself a social network of people who understand that and are doing their best to combat that. That is the most basic imperative of the masculine frame. which has been destroyed in real time. They are trying to convince you that you should act how you feel. You should show more of your feelings. If you feel this way, you should show it. If you want to cry, cry. Look, I have no problem with guys crying. What I'm saying is the reason they're trying to bring out emotionality in you is most of the time you don't feel like doing the things you're supposed to do. But the true masculine frame throughout history was doing the things they didn't want to do, but they knew they had to do because they had honor and duty. When you remove self-control from men, not only do you get emasculated weak men, but what you also get is very dangerous men.
There are actually far less genuinely high value men than there are pretty girls. You can go to any club in any country in the world. I've been to 72 countries. You can go to any club in any country in the world and see pretty girls. If you're gonna find a young, in shape, smart, tall, intelligent, rich man, it's extremely difficult to find. And that man has options. He has more options than a beautiful girl. And I'll tell you something.
There's always been a large proportion of men in the world who made the choice to stay where they are. And life for them wasn't that bad. But as we reach the future and as time goes on, you're going to notice now that the people who don't chase having a masculine network, if they're not going to be excellent upon themselves and they're not going to be plugged into a serious circle of achievers, their life's going to become terrible. You could just be a normal dude and your life really wasn't that bad. But now we live in a situation where you just can't just be a normal dude anymore. Being a normal dude is no longer an option.
So as a man, you have to be doing something to try and improve your status. There's lots of different ways to do it, right? But if you're a man with truly no status in society, now it's hard. Yeah. It's really hard. So you have to understand that as a man, you got to gear your life in a certain way. One of the easiest ways to get status is who you know, right? A lot of it's networking, and if you know the right people, you can get some status, at least off of them, to some degree. Every single man on earth with enough work can become one. That's the counter side, right? So there is hope at the end of the tunnel, but you got to get up and do it.
You know what I truly think a high value man is? Okay, it's a few things, right? So there's the obvious evolutionary triggers. The easiest way to be a high value man is a man who's capable of violence. If you look at it from a biological trigger, it doesn't matter if he's got muscles or he's big or he's tall, or whatever. Women understand from a biological perspective, they like a man who can fight.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if your man had money, a Ferrari, everything, but if you knew for a fact, if any dude stepped to him, he'd get sparked, you wouldn't want him, right? So that's the first thing.
We're suffering from cowardice. We talk about all the problems in the world. It's easy to talk about them all. But you can narrow them all down to the exact same thing. Cowardice, masculine cowardice, all of it. All of this is masculine cowardice. That's all it is.
And you're not going to be able to imitate being a G. You have to go out there and you have to suffer as a man. You got to go through trauma to be a G as a man. Too many dudes out here are trying to imitate. That's what all this is. You're talking about game. You're trying to be something you're not. The real game is to be the man. That's the game. As a man, you need to go through trauma. You need to go through difficult periods. You need to go through things which are extremely uncomfortable to become any kind of man of value. Every single woman on this panel, if you were to ask her to describe the kind of man she wants, she would describe a man who she thinks makes her feel safe, who is dominating, who is smart, who is charismatic, who is interesting, etc. You cannot be all of those things by accident. Any man who grows up with a very, very easy life, who never goes through anything, who's born with a silver spoon in his mouth, is the exact kind of punk which these women don't want to touch, right? As a man, you need to suffer and you will survive, and you need to internalize it, not become a weirdo, accept that the trauma is what's going to make you strong enough to become the kind of man that's respected by society, and you need to use it for your own advantage. As a man, if you have not been through extremely difficult processes, you're never going to be a high value man. So when you ask me that question, the answer is an answer you're not hoping for, because likely you've been avoiding trauma your whole life.
Life is difficult. Everyone has bad news all the time. Things happen to people, and things are going to happen to everyone. And even if you live the perfect life, you're still going to have bad experiences because everything's relative. When people talk about toxic masculinity and all this garbage, and we need to make men more feminine, that's not going to make men. It's not going to make the world safer. Having a whole bunch of men who give in to their emotions instantly is going to create more monsters. The reality of masculinity is controlling your emotions. This is the reality of being a man. The tenets of masculinity since the dawn of time have been, I was afraid, but I did it anyway. This is the tenets of masculinity. Courage. That's what courage is. I was afraid to storm the beaches of Normandy, but I did it anyway. I was afraid to stay on the Titanic, but I did it anyway. This is the whole tenets of masculinity, and now they're saying, oh, if you're afraid, just act afraid, be a pussy.
I'm at a point now where I'm working for, it's pointless. Money's just fruitless. I don't need it. But I can't not do it. I have to. I don't know why I am exactly the way I am. Because I'm a very happy person, but I'm not content. Does that make sense? I'm very happy. I'm not miserable. I'm not depressed in any way. I'm super happy, but also I'm not content.
There is no quick fix. There is no replication. There is no way you can falsify on a long enough timeline So the answer is, if you want to be a man of distinction, you need to go and suffer. That's your answer.
One of the only things in this world you can control is your state of mind. You can't control the weather. You can't control other people. You can't even control your health. One of the very few things in the world you have genuine control over is your state of mind. You decide if you're a disciplined person. You decide if you're a happy person. You decide if you're a depressed person. These are things that in real time you can affect in your brain. This is all you can control on Earth.
Any boy, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. Where do you want to be when you're 25, 30? Where do you want to be? They're going to say, big house, fast car, beautiful wife. That's what they're going to say. Every single one. And slowly, the programming of the Matrix beats this dream out of men.
Yep.
It beats it out of men till they get to my age and they're fat with a woman who doesn't love them, who's unattractive, who's a low quality person, who drags them down, works a dead end job, and their wife is in their ear saying, oh, you shouldn't watch Tristan and Andrew Tate. Those guys haven't grown up. Growing up is an analogy for having the aspiration that every boy has beaten out of them and accepting the programming of the Matrix. Let me tell the young men out there, you need to be able to identify low quality friends and cut them off and curate the people around you into a group of winners, a group of men who want to go out there and achieve the same things as you. And the journey to the top not only won't be lonely, but it will be far easier. I saw a TikTok of him recently saying, hey Andrew, I may be fat and blah blah, but I have a wife, a woman chose me. And that one line, I just thought, a woman chose me. When you're a man at the top, you get to choose the women that you want to be with. A woman chose you, well done. Like his dynamic is so wrong, even in that one line, which is one of the only things I've ever heard this guy say, by the way. So when you say I don't have social media, I don't have a TikTok account.
Neither do I.
I don't have a TikTok account. I'm not that big in consuming social media because I feel like my use for social media is I feel like I have a good message to put out there. So I concentrate on content creation rather than content consumption. The advice is hang around with people who have a good mindset. I was with my brother and I was like, oh, Andrew, I just completed this round. It's 41 kills, 1 death. That's pretty cool. Andrew looks at me from the couch. I swear to God, looks over at me and goes, yeah, Tristan, but it doesn't matter, does it? And I'm like, fuck, it doesn't matter, does it? And I turned that game off. And I don't think I've ever spent more than 10 minutes playing a video game ever since that day. So hang around better people. You know, if you're wasting your life, if you're wasting your talents, if you're sitting there jerking off all day, if you're sitting around dudes who are talking about who their favorite porn star is, leave that group of friends. Cut low quality people out of your life. And slowly, as you go out into the world and apply yourself at different things that are more useful, you'll probably find out that you're not as useless as you think. Or you might be, in which case, you know, we all need someone to flip the burgers and wash the cars, so I'll tip you heavily, my friend, don't worry. Guys, open your eyes. When I say, when I say don't be a brokey, learn how to make some money, level up, you know, it's not about money necessarily. It's about, I believe if you're a young man in this world and you don't have your financial situation together and you're not part of the top 1%, then you're not going to attract the top 1% women. You're not going to meet the women with low body counts who want to love you and start a family with you. If you stay a low quality man, you're going to meet a low quality woman, start a low quality family, and have a low quality life. But I say it in an abrasive way, and people will cut clips of me or my brother saying, oh, you know, don't be broke, make some more money, you know, you don't want to be a broke, you don't want to be a loser. But I'm not trying to upset anyone. I'm just trying to show people the way that I think is to a better life and a more productive, more healthy, more happy life. The media, I think, is so spun so negatively against me and Andrew. I try to empower young men to stay away from toxic people. I'm not talking about toxic women. I will say 9 times on a podcast, look, if your friends are sitting around smoking drugs, if your friends, your male friends, are losers, if your male friends have no ambition, if your male friends are fat and overweight and keep you from going to the gym, stay away from them. And then on the same podcast once, I'll say, yeah, if you have a girl, if you have a woman who, you know, is trying to control you and is overeating and is lazy and doesn't like you going to the gym and is a bit of a slob, you need to cut her off. And it's, oh my God, Tristan's misogynistic. It's selective hearing. I'm trying to teach young men to stay away from low quality people. Men and women, male and female. But they'll soundbite the bits where I talk about low quality women, because low quality people of all races, genders, sexes, they exist. And you need to stay away from all of them. I never wanted to be a multimillionaire. Andrew once said to me, famously, Tristan, if we could just find a way to make, this is before the internet, if we could just find a way to make like 50, 100 pounds a day from home, that would alleviate a lot of our problems. Start small. Because as you climb the mountain and you reach where you wanted to reach, you realize that there are new mountains to climb. There are new mountains to climb for me right now. And I'm at a level that a lot of people can't even dream of getting to. But you see it. It opens new doors when you accomplish the goals that you're aiming for. And it opens your eyes to what's possible from there. So don't think I want to be a multimillionaire. Think, okay, I want some financial independence. I want to work 20 hours at the fast food store instead of 40, but supplement my income from home. Okay, I've done that. Now I have more free time. Where do I go from here? So don't think how am I going to become a multimillionaire. Think of your short-term goals. Make sure your mother works less. Buy yourself some nicer clothes, live in a better apartment, and think of how you can make those things happen. And as you go up in value as a man, you'll learn a lot about yourself, and from then you could tackle bigger goals.
When people say things like money doesn't buy happiness, I would say yes, it actually does if you know what to buy. Lamborghinis are cool, Bugattis are cool, but calling your mother and say, hey mom, you're working that shitty job in that kitchen, washing those dishes, you know what, you never have to work again. That's happiness.
Yeah.
And no amount of being broke with good feelings, goodwill, or pride is going to make that happen. It takes money to make things like that happen.
That's a good
I think it's about you have to know what to buy, and you have to know what's really important in the world. When I needed this surgery on my shoulder, I called the same surgeon who did Conor McGregor's leg and Roger Federer's elbow. And I paid $45,000 to go get the procedure done. That's happiness. I don't want some fucking NHS surgeon fucking around with my arm. I only got 2 arms. I can't afford to fuck one up. So yeah, I mean, it depends. If you know what to buy, if you know what to spend it on. But chasing material possessions is it's fun, but it's not necessarily happiness. But I was always a very happy, content individual. So now I'm happy and content and rich as fuck. So it's great.
Look, genetics, intellect, wit. I mean, there are various things that we're all born with. And when you get to the age of 12, 13, you can see who's becoming a man with physicality, who's becoming a man who's smart. Yes, some people have further to go than other people. I know people who are genetically blessed, guys who never ever train, and they've got iron 6-packs and big arms all the time. That guy obviously does not have to try as hard as the skinny little dork to be physically attractive to women. He has to try probably not very hard at all. Maybe he's 6'4", like me. But let me tell you something. Everybody can get there. If you're dumb, you can get smarter. If you are weak, you can get stronger. It's just some people are so far gone in terms of being a strong guy, they're 2 out of 10. Now, instead of realizing that they need to work in the gym 3 hours a day, every day for 5 years to be a physically imposing man, they think, oh, well, I haven't got the genetics, I give up. So yeah, you can actually turn a geek into a stud. If someone's a geek, it takes a lot more work than turning a guy who's not quite a stud into a stud. But you only get one body and you only get one life, so you need to get up, stand in front of the mirror, take your shirt off, look at yourself, and think, how far do I have to go? What do I need to change about myself to be the man? I do it every day. Maybe there's a lot you need to change, maybe there's only a little bit you need to change.